Now on River Region Evening Edition. The busy Carbondale Strip will close to traffic this week for a free concert by a rising country star. An economics expert says education may not be a factor in success. He'll make his case for us. And we're following the story behind the SIU volleyball team's success.
News from around the world, across the nation, and here in the River Region. This is the award-winning student newscast, coming to you live from Southern Illinois University. River Region Evening Edition begins now.
Live on Main, a live local show on the Strip in Carbondale has attracted a big name in the country music scene. Good evening, I'm Joe Fry.
And I'm Joey Dalo. River Region reporter Anthony Wiley reports on the concert that will close the Carbondale Strip due to traffic.
Southern Illinois has quite the spectacle for music goers this Friday night. Carbondale Tourism and the Carbondale Music Coalition are putting on another edition of Live on Main, and this time it features an upcoming country superstar in Jason Isbell. Music Coalition President Curtis Conley expects a big showing for the event.
Fully expect 5,000. I would not be surprised to see if we hit 7,500 people. Our max capacity is 7,500.
Chamber of Commerce Executive Director Les Odell feels that this is an important event for the region in more ways than one.
I think it's more than just revenue for the city and the businesses. Just the fact that we offer this sort of activity shows Carbondale to be a real cultural and entertainment mecca for the region. It also, it can't hurt student recruitment. Maybe there may be prospective students that come out and go, wow, there's cool stuff going on in Carbondale.
Isbell, within the last 2 months, has been featured on CBS Sunday Morning and in Rolling Stone magazine. He played in Carbondale earlier in his career, so coming back is something he's more than happy to do. Conley feels that this event will be a rebirthing of downtown.
If you have any kind of passion for Carbondale whatsoever, this is kind of a rebirthing for Carbondale's downtown. It's something new. It's something exciting. The production level. I mean, this stage was at the Super Bowl last year, and this is not just, we're not pulling a pull-behind trailer behind us and throwing a band on it.
For River Region Evening Edition, I'm Anthony Wilder.
Gates open at 6 p.m. with the show starting at 7 p.m. For more information on VIP tickets and the event, head to CarbondaleMusicCoalition.com.
The cost of saving for college got a little cheaper in Illinois today. State fees are being reduced on the Bright Directions 529 plan. The program lets families save for college with an investment that is free from federal taxes. The change eliminates a $10 setup fee, a $3 quarterly maintenance fee. It also cuts management fees by 43%. The state treasurer says the change affects more than 104,000 accounts.
Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner issued an ultimatum to legislators today. He says they should pass their own budget with a tax increase without his support. Or, if they want his support for a tax increase, they should agree to some of his pro-business reform ideas. Democrats in the legislature think some of Rauner's proposals would have a negative effect on families and Illinois' most vulnerable residents.
Well, we had another absolutely gorgeous day in the River Region, Joey.
That is true. Well, let's get a first check of our weather with weathercaster Colin Dorsey.
Well, for tonight around 10 p.m. we can expect 62 degrees with some overcast skies. By 7 a.m., 57, partly cloudy. And then moving into the noon hour, looking to around 76 with partly cloudy skies. I'll have a little bit more of your weather coming up in just a few minutes.
Well, thank you, Colin. Thousands of workers are being temporarily laid off in southeastern Illinois. U.S. Steel is closing its plant in Granite City for 2 months and is laying off 2,000 workers. The company blames market conditions, including changing oil prices, fewer oil rigs, lower steel prices, and what it called unfairly traded imports.
The Illinois Department of Agriculture says both corn and soybean harvests are halfway complete. Illinois is expected to be the country's #1 soybean producer and #2 corn producer. The department's weekly report shows that 55% of the corn harvested in Illinois is in good to excellent condition. The National Weather Service believes Illinois will continue to have harvest-friendly weather over the next week.
A fire heavily damaged a historic church in Chicago today. Nearly 150 firefighters tried to save the 92-year-old church just south of University of Chicago. Smoke from the fire set off alarms in neighboring buildings and alerted firefighters around 6 this morning. The roof of the building collapsed during the fire. The historic church was saved from demolition after another fire several days ago. Today's fire is being blamed on rags that were being used to stain the floors during the fire's renovation.
Well, an economics expert has some surprising views of the road to success. He's at SIU today.
And an East St. Louis school district is still on strike.
A top economist with the Federal Reserve visited Carbondale today to talk about the role of education in wealth accumulation. Evening Edition reporter Tia Reinhardt has the story.
Turns out hours spent walking the halls of higher education systems might not be the only road to success.
Is what you learn in school certainly does make a difference, particularly in the job market. And I think we're learning more about how that also connects to how you make financial decisions, how successful you are in accumulating wealth over time. But it's not the only factor.
Senior economic advisor Bill Emmons is bringing light to this subject through his research by showing there are outside factors that could change the way higher education affects success.
Of course, we can't quantify that. That's really one of the things we and others are trying to think about, just how important are these other factors that are associated with higher levels of education.
Emmons' research shows a huge gap in success between those with a higher education and those without. Students today choose higher education because of the truth in this data.
I'm from here in Carbondale, so a lot of people I know, without college, they don't go really far unless they are really good with sports, and that doesn't happen that often.
Sophomore Alex Davis says he absolutely believes success is dependent on a degree. With data that supports his opinion, Emmons believes a change can still happen if we start having the conversation of factors outside education.
The bad news is kind of education does not look like a silver bullet to the extent that maybe we thought it was. Stepping back and sort of trying to turn that into a positive, I think it is certainly possible. And we have examples in our country, we have examples in other countries of, if you think about kind of alternative pathways to the middle class.
In Carbondale, Tia Reinhardt, River Region Evening Edition.
Emmons' research and more information can be found at stlouisfed.org.
Authorities say that the shooter who shot and killed 9 people at a community college in Oregon killed himself after officers shot and wounded him. 2 plainclothes officers arrived at the scene and spotted the shooter, Christopher Harper Mercer, in the doorway of a building. The officers shot the shooter in the right side. He apparently returned into a classroom and shot himself in front of the entire room.
Union reps and School District 189 officials failed to reach an agreement Monday to end the teachers' strike in East St. Louis that has been going on since last Thursday. Officials say the district's recent contract proposal would save the school system $10 million, but the union says it amounts to a pay cut, doubling the time it takes for teachers to reach the top of the pay scale. The district superintendent says he's not backing down.
We're still miles apart. In our opinion, their expectations are very unrealistic considering our financial situation. I will not be bullied or intimidated into recommending to our Board of Trustees, our Financial Oversight Panel, nor the state a contract that I know that we cannot sustain.
Monday's federally mediated talks stalled with neither side giving up any ground.
Jury selection is beginning for a Massachusetts teen on trial for murdering his teacher. Defendant Philip Chisholm, a former student at Danvers High School in Salem, is being tried as an adult in the case. Chisholm is accused of raping and killing his math teacher, Colleen Ritzer, whose body was found in the woods near the school. Defense attorneys plan to use a mental health defense, but did not reveal any specifics.
Monsanto will be eliminating 2,600 jobs as part of a cost-saving plan designed to deal with falling sales of its biotech seeds and herbicides. The cuts will reduce the company's workforce of more than 22,000 workers by about 12% over the next 2 years. The company says the move will generate between $275 million and $300 million in annual savings, but the cost of the reorganization, however, is estimated to cost between $850 million and $900 million. Monsanto has struggled to deal with slumping corn prices in the U.S. as farmers are shifting more acres to other crops due to a surplus of corn from last year's harvest.
Eastern Kentucky University has canceled classes through Friday. The school was closed after finding a threatening graffiti that referenced to a killing for 10/8/15, which is tomorrow's date. The school is keeping essential operations going and plans to resume full operation following fall break next Wednesday. Security presence around the university has been increased. A $10,000 reward is being offered for the identification of the person responsible.
Just weeks before a scheduled execution, a Pulaski County Circuit Court judge is considering the arguments from Arkansas's appeal against a lawsuit from death row inmates. Arkansas has a secrecy law against their execution drugs. An attorney for the inmates argues that the secrecy law violates a settlement agreement from a previous lawsuit. The Associated Press related 3 drug companies that could have made Arkansas's execution drugs. The companies condemn their drugs being used in execution.
The National Transportation Safety Board is attempting to recover data to learn why a cargo ship sank near the Bahamas during Hurricane Joaquin. The data recorder is currently 15,000 feet deep in the Atlantic. The Coast Guard continues to search for any of the 33 people on board the ship and has found one body in a survival suit. An NTSB official says the data recorder starts pinging when it gets wet and has a 30-day battery life.
Research that could prevent cancer and improve the aging process has resulted in Nobel Prizes for 3 scientists. Thomas Lindahl of Sweden, Rree Senkar of Turkey, and Paul Modrich of the U.S. have been presented with the prize. Their findings have researchers looking for ways to disable the cancer cell's ability to repair its DNA, allowing the cancer cell to die. The research in aging is providing better understanding of diseases that are linked to getting older.
The weekend is getting closer. We'll preview the weekend weather forecast next.
And the stock market closed this afternoon with some solid gains. More business coverage is coming up at 5:30 on the Nightly Business Report.
Good evening, I'm Colin Dorsey with your River Region weather forecast. Looking in the days ahead, there is a chance of rain overnight with a cool weekend following, but we will begin to warm up into the early part of next week. Right now outside in Jackson County, 76 degrees and mostly cloudy skies. That dew point sitting quite a bit lower, around 59. Relative humidity around 56 degrees. Wind coming out of the west of up to 7 miles per hour. That barometric pressure sitting around 30.1. Looking at your almanac, your average high for today is around 75 degrees. That record was a high 93 back in 1939. Overnight, that low around 46 degrees. But across the region, it looks like Carbondale sitting at 76 degrees. It does feel like 78 right now. Marion at 77, Mount Vernon at 75, Belleville 74. Cape Girardeau reporting 78 degrees, feeling like 80. And Paducah is our hotspot tonight at around 80 degrees. Looking at your surface map across the region, a high pressure system is on its way through, and that is kind of what is bringing those cooler and wet conditions in the next coming days. But you can kind of see all this rain going on out here in our western regions of the country, however. Our temperature map across the nation, or our temperature map, this is what shows what it'll be around 2 o'clock p.m. tomorrow. We do see 80-degree temperatures in much of Our southern Midwest, along with the South, seeing that. But as you do move towards the north, it does get a little bit cooler. Coverage map at tomorrow around that time. We do still have some overcast skies throughout our region. A lot of the areas to our west, though, however, seeing beautiful blue skies. For tonight, overnight low of 56 degrees with partly cloudy skies. Winds gusting out of the north or the west northwest of 11 miles per hour. Sun setting tonight at 6:31. By tomorrow, 81 is your high with partly cloudy skies. Winds gusting out of the south of up to 6 miles per hour. Sun rising at 6:57. By tomorrow night, we do expect a 50% chance of thunderstorms with a overnight low of 60 degrees. Winds coming out of the west-northwest of 11 miles per hour. Sun setting tomorrow at 6:30. Looking into your 5-day weather forecast, partly cloud. Expect a chance of rain on Friday with a high of 71, overnight low of 49. By Saturday, sunny skies, 68, 75 on Sunday, and 80 by Monday.
So, Colin, you don't think I should put my shorts away anytime soon?
Not quite yet. Those summer temperatures are still hanging around.
Oh, thank you, Colin.
Thank you, Colin.
An SIU Hall of Famer has passed away.
And the SIU baseball team has officially released their schedule for this season. Zach Thomas has more in sports.
Thanks, guys. The NL wildcard game between the Cubs and Pirates takes place tonight, and one Saluki swimming and diving athlete was recognized after her weekend excellence. All that and more coming up on River Region Sports. Former SIU head basketball coach Harry Gallatin has passed away. The Saluki Hall of Famer was 88 years old. Gallatin played in the NBA as a member of the New York Knicks for 9 years and played in the first NBA All-Star game. Gallatin hauled in 33 rebounds in a single game for the Knicks, a record that has yet to be matched. As SIU's head coach, Gallatin held a 79-35 record in 4 seasons from 1959 to 1962. His Salukis were the first in school history to make the small college NCAA tournament in 59, 60, and 1961. He led the Dogs to 3 20-win seasons and 3 IIAC conference championships. The SIU volleyball team has had an impressive first half of their season. With a record of 12-6, the Salukis head to Evansville seeking their 13th win. Sports reporter Sean Conway has the story.
Saluki volleyball is off to a solid start in conference play after a 5-set triumph over Missouri State. Juniors Meg Viggers and Mackenzie Doris have upped their game to help their team see success this season.
I think Hannah's been giving me some good balls. She's been setting me well, so I've been able to attack more angles.
I've been working with one of our assistant coaches after practice, really trying to get my hands over and close the block a lot better than I have been.
Along with improved talent, team chemistry has helped bring the Salukis to victory.
We're really close. We're able to talk more, especially, and that helps us on the court. Like, we're able to give each other positive comments, which really helps on and off the court.
I just like to mess around with my teammates. We play heads up sometimes, and that gets us going.
The team hopes to keep up their momentum as they head to their next conference match this weekend.
We just have to keep our efforts as high and keep our energy as high as we did during Missouri State. You know, as Meg said, any team can beat anyone in this conference.
SIU travels to take on the Evansville Purple Aces this Saturday at 6. For River Region Sports, I'm Sean Conway.
With the season surpassing the halfway point, the Salukis' remaining schedule features only Missouri Valley Conference matchups. SIU's own Johnny Rigby and Michael Kianica were eliminated from the first round of the ITA All-American Classic. The men's tennis team duo was eliminated by Texas Tech's duo of Tommy Malinikov and Alexander Sendajaya in 2 sets of 6-3 and 6-4. Coach Dan Nelson says that the duo that eliminated Rigby and Kianica will most likely be ranked in the nation by the end of January. The men's tennis team returns to action when they travel to Central Illinois for the Champaign Challenger Tournament. An SIU athlete is receiving high praise after her performance from this weekend. Diver Sherry Zhang was named MVC Diver of the Week after finishing in first place in the 1 meter and 3 meter dives against Evansville over the weekend. Zhang and the swimming and diving team continue their regular season with a trip to Springfield, Missouri as they take on the Missouri State Bears. And the SIU baseball team released their 2015-2016 season schedule. The Salukis are coming off a 12-46 record from last season, finishing dead last in the MVC. They will have 34 games of their season here in Carbondale at Itchy Jones Stadium. SIU kicks off their season in mid-February when they travel to Louisiana to take on McNeese State. They will then come back to Carbondale for their first home series against Western Illinois. The Chicago Cubs and Pittsburgh Pirates compete in the National League wildcard game tonight at PNC Park. Both teams finished the regular season 1 game apart in the NL Central standings. The Cubs and Pirates hope to keep the playoff excitement rolling, sending out aces Jake Arrieta and Garrett Cole. The winner of the game goes on to play the St. Louis Cardinals in the divisional round. The Redbirds finished with the best record in the big leagues. And first pitch is tonight at 7.
So, Zach, tell me, who do you got in the NL wildcard game tonight?
You know, I can't go against my Cubbies. They've been looking mighty impressive, and I think with Arrieta on the mound, that's their best chance of winning.
Arrieta's been the best pitcher in the second half. Thank you, Zach.
We can't wait.
After the break, Colin will give us one final look at weather.
And we'll be right back.
Here are some of the stories making news in the days ahead. An update on LGBT History Month here at SIU. The university prepares to host a metalsmithing conference, and the SIU football seniors are stepping up as they move closer to the season's end. Join us Monday through Thursday at 5 o'clock for River Region Evening Edition.
So, Colin, a quick check at your weather.
Sure. Taking a look at tonight, expect an overnight low, or tomorrow on your Thursday, 82 is your high. Tomorrow night, expect an overnight low of 60 degrees with a chance of thunderstorms in there. Raining on Friday with a high of 71 degrees, but it's going to be pretty nice in the days after that.
Thanks, Colin.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for joining us tonight. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at River Region News. I'm Joe Fry.
And I'm Joey Dalo. For Colin Dorsey, Zach Thomas, and more than 100 students who work on Evening Edition, thank you and good night.